You remember how the Jets were planning on benching Justin Fields for Tyrod Taylor? That's not happening because apparently Tyrod Taylor's not healthy. So he's dealing with a knee issue. Aaron Glenn tried to play coy with the media, and there was this little back and forth going on. Woody Johnson threw Justin Fields under the bus earlier this week. And so my whole point on the Jets is like, they can't even get a quarterback benching right. Like they can't, like even that they can't figure out. Like the mixed messages and the stuff that's come out publicly and the mixed signal, like all of that. Like, I mean, it's just, dude, what are we doing here? And I would argue, and this is, look, Aaron Glenn's up against it. I mean, it's not like they were a good team last year. But what makes this worse is the fact that the most important position on the field is the quarterback position. And you've figured out a way to screw that up already. Because if you believe a report from Pro Football Talk, it was Darren Moogie, the GM, who wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Glenn was against it. Aaron Glenn was the guy that said, no, he's got to go. And it's like, all right, so he's the guy who's got to go. And so they bring in Justin Fields, and then we're not even 2 months into the season, and, well, he's got to be benched. Say, oh, okay, so you're going to put in Tyrod Taylor. Well, actually, we're not because he's not even healthy. Like, the whole thing's a clown show. And the other thing that makes it look bad for Aaron Glenn, looking in his past, is the fact that, I don't know, the Lions seem pretty good on defense. And I would argue they seem better this year than last year with Aaron Glenn. Like, one of the things that I think a lot of people sort of embellished was the loss of the coordinators and the impact that would have on the Lions. And whether or not this means the Lions are going to make a deeper run in the postseason, whatever you want to say, like it clearly has not had the impact that a lot of people, myself included, thought it would. Now, offensively, they look good. Not a whole lot of differences there. They've still got the explosive playmakers. The roster is still really good. But you look at what Ben Johnson's done in Chicago, and you're like, all right, well, yeah, I mean, it was his time to go, and it's not, it doesn't look bad for Ben Johnson. It looks bad for Aaron Glenn. They got better on defense, and the team he's coaching is winless. They're awful. Way worse than anybody expected. And I almost think that there's like this state of shock. Like, what? We really haven't won a game yet? Like, really? And I say this as somebody who bet on the Jets last week. That was part of my Knox locks. I thought the Jets being an underdog against Carolina was ridiculous. Like, well, hold on a second. I know neither team's great, but like, really? Like the Jets at home couldn't beat Carolina? And no, they were right. They couldn't. They're terrible. But I do think what they've done, and while they haven't done anything right, I do think that they've helped in some way. And they've helped somebody heal from a breakup, right? And that somebody is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will take center stage on Sunday Night Football as the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to host the Green Bay Packers. And while the conversation is about Aaron Rodgers against his former team, there is this thought that Rodgers would have a red ass about the Packers organization based on his personality, based on the fact that he's always keeping score, chip on your shoulder, so on and so forth. But if you listen to Rodgers talk about the Packers organization, it sounds a little bit different.
I feel so good about my time there because damn near everything great in my life is because of, my football career. My football career starts and will end one day with Green Bay. So I got a lot of love for all those memories and a lot of great friends that I still carry with me to this day.
Like, there's no animosity. There's no ill will. There's no, hey, man, F you. Like, no. Like, listen, my career started in Green Bay. It's going to end in Green Bay. I'm going to retire a Packer. This isn't Brett Favre, where it wasn't until years later he finally was welcomed back and he went into the Ring of Honor and all. Like, no. Rodgers is good now. Like, he's got great things to say about the organization, like right now while still playing. Do you know why that is? Because he dated the Jets. What do you mean? Dated the Jets. He was in a long-term relationship with a nun. They broke up, and then he dated a drug addict afterwards. Of course. Of course you appreciate it now. Of course. That little pit stop at the Crystal Meth Lab in between church and your current location, that helped. Like, it helped a lot. Like, of course. Why would he have ill will? Like, there's some people who, I think Mina Kimes even said, oh, come on, he's going to want revenge on his former team. I really believe him. Does he want to beat his former team? Yeah, he wants to beat his former team. He wants to beat every team. But I truly believe that there is no ill will that Rodgers has towards the Packers organization at all. Had he left Green Bay and, I don't know, gone to Pittsburgh directly, then maybe it would be a little bit different. Because he's like, oh, so I can just get this anywhere. Because if you think about it, the Packers organization and the Steelers organization, very similar. Stability, tradition, great fan base, feels like a mom and pop shop, if you will. Like, very similar organizations. If he had gone from Green Bay to Pittsburgh just like that, I could understand, so this is just how it is everywhere. Yeah, screw you guys. Like, yeah, I know what that relationship brought me, but I can get it over here too. But he didn't do that. Like, he didn't go from one great relationship to another. He went from great relationship to flunky to another great relationship. And now there's talk, according to Jeremy Fowler, where the Steelers have been so happy with Rodgers that they're open-minded to the idea, hey, what about maybe another year? We give it another go. Like, what about next year? Why not? If he's healthy, and if he gets through this season healthy enough and he plays at this level, it doesn't mean they're going to win a Super Bowl. It doesn't mean they're gonna be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. But if he does, like, why wouldn't he come back and play? He can only do this once. He knows that. But when I hear him talk about the Packers organization the way that he does, I don't think he's giving, he's playing coy or he's just, telling you something publicly, but inside he feels a different way. No, I think he's being 100% honest. And I think the reason he feels that way is because of the bucket of puke that he swam in for 2 years. I might actually go back on my original take. I might actually say this. As I pointed out, the Jets can't even get benching a quarterback right. Like, they can't even do that right. Like, they really can't do anything right, apparently. I don't know. Maybe this is what they could do. Hey, come date us. You'll feel better about your previous one. You know what I mean? In fact, I would encourage every player in the NFL who's in the midst of bad contract negotiations, whatever. Trey Hendrickson, perfect example. Just cannot get the deal he wants. Cannot get the long-term deal he wants from the Cincinnati Bengals. If I were Trey Hendrickson, you're playing the Jets this weekend. Make a couple of calls. Say, hey, trade deadline's coming up. I want to feel better about how things are in Cincinnati. Would you mind sending me to the Jets? Take a 7th-round pick. Like take a compensatory. Like take bottom of the barrel stuff. I promise you, after the season, I'll come back and sign whatever deal you want me to sign. I just need to try out a really bad pair of shoes to remember what the comfortable ones are like. That's what I need. I would encourage every player to take that approach. It's worked for Aaron Rodgers. This is somebody who does have resentment in his heart. We've seen it. He keeps score. He remembers. Yet he doesn't have that for the Packers. And why? Well, it's because of the 18 years he spent there. And how many? Yeah, sure. But if you asked him how he felt about things immediately after the breakup with the Packers, they'd be different. But this has nothing to do with the time he spent with the Packers. This has got all to do with the time he spent with the Jets. The guy walked out of Mass after just receiving communion into a meth lab and then ran out the back door 2 years later and realized, oh my God, I'm going, what time's the evening Mass? I'll go back. Oh, there's another church open. It's in Pittsburgh. I'll go to that one. That's fine. That works. Just keep me away from what was in the middle there. So if anything, at least they're helping people appreciate where they were just by spending a little bit of time there in the circus.